not talk about family when family's all that we got. Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 31, the Relap Recap Tune-Up, Lap 3. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe 2, and this episode is brought to you by Sparco. Sparco is an Italian auto part and accessory company headquartered in Volpiano, Turin, Italy. It's spelled like Volpiano, is what it is. It specializes in producing items such as seats, steering wheels, harnesses, racewear, and helmets. They contacted us for this episode because it's the Ridealong Lap, so it was only appropriate that we got a specialty racing seat maker to sponsor it.
Of course.
Did you get your Sparco ADV XT seat in the mail?
I did. The only problem is that I have a leased Chevy Cruze I'm going to return in the next 6 months, so it's just sitting in my living room.
Oh, so just like a recliner?
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, the Sparco ADV XT, we got ours for free, obviously. But if you wanted to buy one, it's only $79.50. That's
$7,950.
Yes. $7,950. So that's you can go buy one.
Here's actually a question for you based on that statement, based on your sentence. If that seat costs, like say a version of a car seat cost $80, right? Just $79.50.
Yeah.
And you needed another chair for your living room, would you buy that?
Ooh.
Because the price is right. I don't know that it would be as comfortable as, like, say, a couch you can get for, like, $300, $400.
The thing is like, the racing... Have you ever sat in, like, any car that has real racing seats in it?
No.
Okay, they're not comfortable. They're, like, very stiff. They're not padded.
I would imagine that they're not meant for comfort, right? They're meant for...
safety.
Yeah.
For like, stability, so you don't move around in it. It kind of feels like a roller coaster seat.
Did you ever have, and I don't think you did, because I think if you did, it would have come up, and I did not either, but did you ever have... for video games, like racing games, you could buy, like, the racing chair?
No.
Or you could buy, like, the steering wheel and the pedals. Did you ever have those or no?
No, but one of Zach's friends, Gorgeous George's, he has the racing wheel and pedal set for his computer. And I forget what we were playing, like Forza on it or something like that, and it's, like, really wild. He had a pretty new one. This was, like, within the past 2 years. So, they're, like, now, like, they have feedback, you know what I mean? Like, the wheel rumbles if you run over, it's cool. It was cool. It's not something that, like, I would ever get, but...
Because it was always something that I ostensibly wanted, but I did not ever want to pay for. You know what I mean? And it's also one of those kind of things where, like, I'm sure if I asked for that for Christmas or something, like, my parents would have bought it for me, but I'd rather have other things than that.
Yeah, same.
Like, it was always a cool thing, but it's just it's a whatever.
Also, you need, like, the setup for it. Like, he had it, like, like, attached to a desk upstairs. Like, he had, like, space and... Like, you need, like, a full... real setup for it. And we always played console games, at least I did and you did. We didn't have really like the space to put it, you know what I mean? Like you need like a table in front of a TV really, so it doesn't really work with like a coffee table or anything like that. There were some restrictions, but I did lust after the idea as a small child, although it never came together.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day. You're in the prime of your life for spending needless money on needless shit.
Yeah, no kids. That's what happens.
Well, here we are, tuning up, recapping Lap 3, the Ridealong Lap with the Mikestir. I don't know that this would be anybody's first episode. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Who
but
knows?
If this is your first episode, we break the shows, the movies, the podcast into laps, where we watch each movie once.
Yes.
So this next lap is going to be very exciting because it's going to start the Hobbs and Shaw in it, we're going to have the Hobbs and Shaw laps beginning now.
Yeah.
But between the time we watch Fate of the Furious and the Fast and the Furious, we take a little week off, essentially, and we recap where we've been.
Decompress
a little bit,
oil.
and just, see where we are.
Yeah. Check our timing belt. We just gotta see how we're doing.
So now, before we get into the actual relapping and the recapping, because there's no guest tonight, Mike is not joining us.
No.
This is just you and me. Before we get into the relapping and the recapping of it all, the looking back, the looking forward, let's do our normal top-of-the-show stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot we do that here. Go ahead.
So, first up, extracurricular activities. What have you been up to in the 2 weeks or so since we recorded the Fate of the Furious with the Mikestir, but since we picked him up for the last ride?
2 things. First one, This is just pretty much a direct talk to Wes's wife, but she already knows this. I've gotten the bread thing down to where I'm happy.
Cool.
If you guys have been tracking it, I've been really trying really hard to make bread to my approval. Bought the Italian sourdough cultures, spent a week or so getting them ready. and I made some bread, and I'm finally getting nice, airy bread, beautiful holes. I didn't post it on the Facebook page because I don't think anybody would care. But if you want to see it, email us at family@cageclub.me, and I will send you pictures of it. And it's tasty and good, and I'm happy with that. Although we had friends come over, we watched the NFL draft this weekend. That was exciting for me. Been watching a lot of like playoff hockey and sports and stuff, and just trying to lay low. I have some trips coming up soon, so just getting ready for those.
I get you. I want to make sure that people know that is Joe's ABC, Joe's Amateur Baking Corner.
Yeah, thank you.
That is our segment, sponsored by Mrs. Wes and Stellar Bakes.
Yeah.
If you need cookies, check out Stellar Bakes.
True.
So in the last 2 weeks since we recorded Fate of the Furious, I did my little... It was originally going to be a bachelor party. Things sort of went
you went
awry.
there. I
It
forgot
just became a cabin in the woods weekend. It was very cool. We went. It's somewhere between... And I don't know if people know. So this is one of those things where I don't know how well known these things are outside of the northeastern United States.
Okay.
But there's the Poconos and there's the
Yeah.
Catskills. There's two sort of resort towns, and I don't know how widespreadly or like how widely known those places are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if everyone.
For me, like the Poconos was always like a Pittsburgh. Like I grew up in Pittsburgh, so it was always like a Pittsburgh couples date kind of spot. Like that
Right.
was like a romantic getaway weekend.
I just wonder if like people like if Wes in Texas knows about the
Poconos.
Poconos or whatever,
Maybe.
or like people in California. Like I don't know if
They do races there, so maybe you know
Yeah.
it from cars.
We went to a place. We went to this little cabin in the woods, halfway between both places. It was very cool. We got the place for 2 nights.
Pretty
I knew
cheap,
that
too.
It was like I want to say it was $900 for 2 nights. And it was a cabin that supposedly sleeps 6. Which, yes, I'm sure, or maybe 8. I'm sure, yes, you could sleep 6 or 8 people in there. We had 3, and it felt about right.
Okay.
The place was nice. It was a big size, but it was all like you could sort of hear everything everywhere.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean.
a
And it was
common
just
theme in
it was
these
just
places,
3
yeah.
dudes, and it was just like it wasn't. I'm just saying like if you went up there like with like a couple couples or whatever, and like one started like doing nighttime stuff in the bedroom or whatever, like the whole house would hear. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It doesn't offer the kind of seclusion, but. For 3 dudes, we just, we were outside drinking, we came inside, whatever, it was cool.
Yeah.
They had a hot tub, which was great because it was warm enough to be outside, but not warm enough to really be outside comfortably. And so just chilling in the hot tub was great.
Yep.
It was the best. Here's a funny story
Go ahead.
that I will spare my friend's name from the story just to save his dignity a little bit here. But I went up with one friend. I don't think he didn't do this intentionally. But we went out to this like opening night dinner, like just on Friday night. We got up there. We went to this nicer dinner, and we walk in there, and it's not very crowded. Like it's a nicer place, but it's not very crowded because it's been raining. It's shitty weather. They're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's the Poconos. Yeah.
And my friend says to the maitre d', "Not too busy tonight, huh?" And I was like, "Why are you saying that?" First of all,
Yeah, not very nice because they work on tips most of the time.
exactly. And I was like, I'm like, it's kind of shitty weather. Like I totally understand. They're like, yeah, it's slower or whatever, but it's fine.
Slow season. Yeah.
And then my friend follows it up with I'm essentially, I don't remember, I wish I remembered verbatim because it's always going to be better than what I said, but it's essentially like, I can't believe we found a restaurant this nice in a place like this.
Oh God.
And I was like, what are you doing? Stop it.
Just stop
and
talking. Shut your mouth.
I kind of did that that walk away. We're just like, oh, can't be part of this right
Same.
now.
I do that all the time. Like people start talking and I'll just be like, nope, I'm not involved in this.
I think what happened is he walked away to check if a table was ready or whatever, and I was like, you've got to stop. He's just like, what? I'm like, I know you're well intentioned here.
First of
but
all,
at the same time,
you're from New Jersey, so let's not like pretend like you're from a really nice place. Okay. Come on, that was my little shot. That was my Pennsylvania shot at New Jersey. Come on.
I understand, but Pennsylvania is also kind of a shithole.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we
of
could
course.
just throw her back at you.
That's yeah. I mean, like the Poconos isn't like this like exotic place. It's just like a place. Yeah, that's why that was the whole joke. It would have been much funnier if you would have laughed.
So the weekend was good. I went up there for Friday night. I left Saturday night. By the time I got back, it's like 2 hours away. I got back. I texted my friends and said, I'm back home. Like 45 minutes later, my one friend says, oh yeah, he slept through the movie. Now he's already in bed. Like the other, I just like, oh, I left at exactly the right time.
Perfect.
But I think they woke up on Sunday morning, took a nice little hike, came home. So it was a good weekend for everybody. So that was a nice weekend. Saw Endgame. Won't spoil that here. I know you're going to see that in a couple days. By the time this episode comes out, you'll have seen it.
Thursday night. I have tickets to Sunday, but then Zach wanted to go with us. and we found tickets for Thursday night. I'm particular. Our theater lets you pick the seats, which is kind of a common thing now. And I want to sit like in the back in the middle. I picked some seats in the back in the middle, and I got ones for Thursday night or Sunday, depending on how everything goes. But I will see it by the time this comes out.
I'm curious how crowded theaters are. Like, I bought another ticket for Thursday night as well. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. But I've never seen a movie theater parking lot this crowded.
Really?
I mean, understandably so. This movie broke every record. It broke literally every box office record.
Yeah.
My movie theater has a sort of a big front lot, which when it's crowded, when it's busier on, Friday nights, Saturday nights, especially around the holidays, like, Thanksgiving weekend or Christmas weekend, where, like, movie-going times, the front will fill up. You have to go on the sides.
Okay.
This night, I saw it on Thursday night, the opening night, the night before, whatever. Front was all full. Both sides were full. The back was almost entirely full.
Damn.
I had to park in, like, the outer lip of the back. It was bananas. Like, the inside was not crazy inside because, like, everybody was seated for their movies. You know what I mean?
Course,
But, like, of those people, I would have to guess, like, 90% were seeing Avengers. Like, it's...
And if you weren't, you pulled into the lot and were like, fuck this.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I got there because I saw Captain Marvel again before, and so I was just like, I essentially had 2.5 hours if I needed to find a parking space. But no, it was fine. But I was just like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But the movie is really good. I think we'll maybe talk about it sort of spoiler-free, potentially. I mean, we'll definitely talk about it on Facebook and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that later. And then what else? Anything else that I did? Not really. I'm taking a cool trip this weekend, so I'll talk about that on the next episode.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about this.
Actually, not the next episode, because the next episode, dear listeners, will be our You Are My Lifespan Chapter 2, where we only read. There's nothing else that we're doing special in that episode, because the episode itself is special enough.
Yeah, it deserves its own episode. Yep.
On the next full episode, the next extracurricular activities, which will be the Fast and the Furious Lap 4. Ooh.
Ooh, we're moving.
I will recap that next weekend trip. But anything else of note that you did since we last recorded?
I think that's about it.
All right, next up, mailbag. But before we get there, we have the Patreon page, patreon.com/2fast2forever. If you want to kick us a couple bucks, get some merch, shout out Cassie Wilson over there. Before we get to the mailbag, because I know we have email, I'm going to do my review check. So one thing we would very much appreciate from you, dear listener, is to go into iTunes, or go anywhere, but you have to let me know, because I'm only checking iTunes.
Yeah, we're only
Go into iTunes, go to 2fast2forever, and leave us a review. And whatever you write on here, we will read aloud. Still, no new reviews. Shout out to the most recent reviewer, ifuxio bit. He's the last reviewer on there. But
thank you.
It's really the best way. I still don't know how it works without having to pay Apple to promote stuff. But and probably ungodly sums of money that we cannot afford, or we should not afford. The more reviews, the more ratings, the more sort of traction on these episodes, the more it gets buoyed up in the standings. So if you have a minute or two, we would genuinely appreciate your kind efforts there. But mailbag time, Joe. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead.
So we have an email address here on the show, mailbag@cageclub.me.
No, family@cageclub.me.
God damn it, family.
You fucked it up. That's amazing. I stutter every single time I say it, and you just fucked it up.
I was recording Cage Club Revisited episodes with the Mike last night, with the Mikestir himself, and we have the mailbag over there. But yes, family@cageclub.me. Email family@cageclub.me. Joe, I'm going to call it 6.5 emails tonight.
Okay, interesting. Half an email?
I'm going to give the half email first, because there's a little bit of a story there.
Okay.
Every episode, we're going to play in this episode, This Ain't No 10-Second Race, a.k.a. Boy, Do We Have a Podcast for You. That game, everyone's favorite game, it's Sweeping the Nation, where we go on Twitter.
Fuck, I can use my tweet I sent you from this morning.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Yes, you can.
That's what I want to do. But okay, just putting that out there to remember me.
We go on there, we find a tweet that we think someone might like the podcast, send them a note that says, Boy, do we have a podcast for you, link them to the page, and hopefully they like, retweet, reply, or email us.
Yes.
As has been well documented by this program, I am terrible at this game.
You're very bad.
And I think it's mostly luck. I think that there's also maybe a little bit of choosing the right tweets here and there, but I think most of the time it's luck.
It's luck. It's all luck. I agree.
And I'm not good. I'm not lucky, I guess, is the thing. Anyway, I see a thread. I'm sitting, I think it's either before Captain Marvel or before Avengers. I'm sitting in the theater waiting. I see a thread that says, who's the most famous Brian in the world? Which is a good question, because there's not a lot of famous Brians. And people are, suggesting different people or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I see this guy that says, how about the lead character in the Fast and Furious franchise? And so I reply to him and I say, Boy, do we have a podcast for you?
This is outside the gates, though.
Does not count.
Doesn't count. There's
some
points.
Loves it. Replies is like, if you ever need someone to be on your show, whatever. I'd love to talk to you. And I said, email us. We'd be happy to have you on.
So you hit the jackpot. You didn't even pick. You didn't even play. God.
I know. It's worth no points, but I would have gotten the 1 for the like, the 5 for the reply, and the 10 for an email.
Yeah.
So his name is Chris. I'm going to get it wrong, but we're going to find out because he's going to be on the next lap.
Okay.
Malika, I'm going to say Malika, Mollica.
Okay.
He says, howdy, Chris Malika of the aptly titled handle Chris Malika on Twitter. I'm a huge fan of the Furious series, prone to shouting Brazil, as only Dom would. Other than that, I'm an actor, writer, filmmaker based in Los Angeles. He says, my film, The Mix, I'll give it a shout out here, is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can check that out.
Cool. Okay. We got a really famous email that you connected somehow. Cool.
And so he says, I'd love to join you all as a guest if you'll have me. And I replied to him as myself, said, here's our thing. And so he's going to be on the next lap. He's very excited to talk about the movie. He will be on Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, damn. And what's his name just died, too? R.I.P.?
John Singleton. Shout out. Pour one out for John Singleton. Yeah. Chris is going to be on there. So that was the half an email, because it kind of I asked for the email, essentially, but he still emailed us.
That's cool.
But other than that, we still have 6
Go ahead.
new emails. All right?
Okay. I'm ready to get going.
First up, from, you'll remember, Joe 3, Joe Reed. Do you remember Joe 3?
Yes, I do.
Subject line Joe 3. Joe says, hey guys, I decided to do the Pick 7 Movies game. Here's what I came up with in no specific order. So if you did not listen to our last episode,
okay, cool.
Joe, why don't you explain what the game we did?
It was pick 7 movies from franchises. You can't double on any franchise. Which one would you pick to do a sleepover movie night with your friend? So you could pick Rocky 2 and Furious 7, you know what I mean? 7 different movies, 7 different franchises.
Yep.
That's what you're trying to pick. You added some programming intricacies to it. Mike was trying to do 1 through 7 for franchises, so it got interesting. Go ahead.
So here's what he chose, and he gives a little bit of explanations for each, okay?
Cool. I'm down, yeah.
The Avengers.
Just the first Avengers?
First Avengers.
Okay.
I figured this fits if you think of the Marvel Universe as one franchise, or if you think of just the Avengers movies as a franchise,
works,
was such a good overall movie.
Yeah, okay. I can see that.
Number 2, The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's swan song, just is such a phenomenal performance and such a great movie.
The Dark Knight is a great movie. I agree. If I was doing a sleepover, it's a great pick, but I don't think I know anyone that hasn't seen it at this point. You know what I mean?
But I feel like that's also kind of the thing where, if you want to...
bro out with your friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
braid each other's hair, paint each other's nails.
Exactly.
Throw on The Dark Knight. It's the kind of movie that everybody likes, everybody enjoys,
Yeah.
but you also don't have to pay attention to because you've already seen it.
True. Very good point, yeah.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which was
Oh.
covered on, I believe, Mike Mancy's podcast, Third Time's a Charm.
That's a good one.
He says, even if it isn't around Christmas time, this movie is always good for some laughs.
Joey loves Christmas movies, so he's a little partial.
I do. But I love Christmas movies that are not Christmas movies. I like Die Hard and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And
No, but you have a whole you like Christmas TV shows,
I
too.
do. I do.
Yeah.
I had a thing. There was a box. There was a... I guess it's basically a streaming device that sucks. But it was the Western Digital TV Live box, which is $100. I have 2 of them because one stopped working. But you could essentially plug in a USB drive, and this is still my dream. That I use Plex now because Plex is a great service. Plex, you can stream stuff from your computer,
yeah.
whatever. The thing is that you need when you turn off the TV, I think it stops. It stops playing. Or if it doesn't, you're still streaming from the computer. I don't want to be streaming from the computer all the time. But the beauty of the WDTV Live box was plug in a hard drive, plug in a flash drive, whatever.
And it played.
You could stream it forever. You could just keep playing forever. So I would have a channel, quote unquote, a channel where it's the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. So I could ever just turn on my TV and go to the input for the device and see that. Or, like Joe was saying, all Christmas long, all December long, I would just have all Christmas movies, all Christmas TV shows, whatever.
Yeah.
And just have it, playing. So it's kind of like random programming, sort of, but it's also... sort of a known
Sometimes
quantity.
there's something great about not having to select one, it's just on already,
The problem is I think sometimes it runs into a hiccup or whatever, but it was great. I still kind of want that, but yes, I do love Christmas movies.
Yes.
Point well noted. I think it's weird. I think it's cool that you remember that, but I'm assuming it's a cool idea that you kind of want to emulate in some regard.
No, I hate Christmas, and so I always laugh at you about it. That's exactly why I remember it.
But I'm not saying about Christmas. I'm just saying about anything. If you have a Fast and Furious channel.
Oh yeah.
Right?
No, I really like this idea, and I wish I could do Fast and Furious channel and James Bond channel and all of these things that are a ton of movies that just runs all day. So when you put the channel on, you're oh okay, all of Will Ferrell's movies or something, right? So I don't have to think about TV. You're just which one do I want? And it's already in the middle of something of stuff that you've seen.
Netflix is supposedly trying out on a very small select user base a feature that you could randomly say, like, play an episode of The Office. You press a button and it just picks a random episode, puts it on, which is, great. That's exactly what I want. Not
Yeah,
for The
same.
Office, but for what other shows.
It works on Plex. We can do it on Plex. I do it all the time.
You also sort of need to own that. Like, I like the idea of like a Netflix thing. But anyway, the idea of that inspired this thing that I saw. It was like other things that Netflix could do. Basically, spend less time trying to find something to watch and watch more stuff. And one of them was essentially channels, which I do love. The farther we get from trying to get rid of cable, the more that things become like cable.
Yes, I agree.
Like the way that cable was it was supposed to be like, instead of having to pay for all these different things, like you pay like one person, one fee, and you get everything. We're getting so disseminated by all these different platforms that we're going to pay $10 to like 10 or 11 different places, and all of a sudden
you're paying $100.
Why not just have cable or whatever? Exactly.
Yeah.
But it could be like Saturday morning cartoons or adult cartoons or like action movies or whatever.
I'm down. Yep.
You press it and like it just jumps. Like it's not like it starts something up randomly. It's just like that's what it's playing for everybody. So you and I could both be separate and both be, hey, let's watch our Saturday morning cartoons or whatever, and we could both be watching the same thing at the same time,
Genius.
streamed from different
I love
places
it.
or whatever. So
Yep.
that's not a thing that Netflix is actually working on, but that's a cool idea
Was a
that I would love to
suggestion that they
see.
had. Yeah, I would like
Yeah.
it too. Because you're like, oh, were you watching the like '90s sitcom channel the other night? They played that episode. It was great.
Because like and like it could change. Like you could do like a different, like every month they could have different channels or whatever based on
Doesn't really matter.
what's
yeah.
in the catalog, what's not, what they want to feature. Like there's a new Orange, there's a new Black, so maybe they have like a prison channel. Like, who knows? You know what I mean? You could do, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I like the idea. I wish somebody would pick it up. Netflix, if you're listening. Netflix, can you hear me?
All right, Joe's fourth movie, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. It isn't the first movie in the series, but you also don't need to know anything about any of the other movies to
Very
enjoy
true.
it.
Very, very true.
I know it's down on my rank list, but it's a movie you either love or you're going to learn to love.
Amen to that. I agree.
Ocean's 13. Probably not as good overall as the first movie, but it's still very interesting.
Is that the all-girls one? 13 is the all-girls one?
No, 8 is the all-girls one.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Be a good movie somewhere in the middle where people could pay attention if they want, or doze off for a bit if they want.
True. Good point.
Which is exactly why I put Transformers 2. Like, not a good movie, but if you want to sleep, by all means.
Yeah, exactly.
Transporter 2, which is a franchise that I've never seen, but I really should, because that's the Jason Statham ones.
Yep.
I like this whole franchise, but I like the second one for a good rewatch.
Yeah, I like Jason Statham. We're big fans here, so.
And then this last one is one that I've never heard of before.
What?
It's called They Call Me Trinity. He says it's a really fun Western comedy from back in 1970 that got a full trilogy. It's a movie that most people have no idea about, including myself.
I don't. I've never heard of it.
But it's a lot of fun to introduce people to. He says also the third movie in this franchise is called My Name is Nobody, so it seems fitting.
Ah, Mr. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Very well played. I like it.
He says my 7 movies in their respective franchises are first, second, third, second, first. I think that's a good mix, not involving too many first movies, which, yeah, absolutely.
We talked about the trouble that we would have doing that,
Yep.
so, yeah.
I really like this game. I hope you guys keep it for future guests, which we absolutely could. I think we need to pick and choose with the guests, you know what I mean? Because not everybody has the encyclopedic knowledge of a Mike Manzi.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I asked you two, because I think if I came to like two people that I know, I don't really even feel like I've seen a ton of movies. You two have seen a ton of movies, so like, especially when it came to like something narrow like this, like franchises, 7 different ones, like,
Yep.
I had to come to you guys because I knew that you guys would like split it up enough for me.
Yeah, I know that there are definitely people that we could bring this to, but I feel like
Brian,
it's also the kind of
maybe.
thing that we need to. Yeah, Brian would definitely do it. Kyle, like maybe we'll do it for Kyle and Brian when they're on the same episode for Fast 5.
That's it. That's a good point. Yeah, we should do that.
I think we just need to make sure that we can't spring it on them in the moment. He says also, since you'll read this on air, I'm going to throw this out there on the off chance that it works. Hey, Vin Diesel, I'd really like to be in a Fast and Furious movie also. It worked for Helen Mirren, so it's worth a shot. As always, keep up the great work, guys.
Well, I'm glad you wrote again, Joe. There's always room for another Joe on the show. So
Of course.
so thanks for writing in, and I'm glad that you're like listening to the episodes still, and you haven't gotten sick of us already. That's awesome. So yeah, thanks.
I mean, this guy is ride or die just by name alone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Next email, new listener.
New listener again?
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay, cool.
Subject line 3 questions from Salvador Pena.
Okay.
Hello, Salvador. He says,
Okay.
first, want to say, love the show. The Fast and Furious has been right up there with Star Wars for me in terms of the greatest franchises in movies.
Wow. Okay.
Love the podcast, still playing catch-up, but I have some long-burning questions. I apologize if these have been asked and answered already.
Okay.
Number 1, is Johnny Tran really dead? I think he'd be an awesome villain to bring back. It's obvious in the first movie he's involved in some shady stuff, And maybe all this time he's been planning revenge on Dom.
If you read You Are My Lifespan, the Fast and Furious fan fiction, he's not dead. But also, I don't think he died in the movie. Jesse did, right? Did he die?
He
I
gets
don't
shot
remember.
off his bike. I think
gets
Brian
shot.
shoots him off the bike, but I don't think we don't see him dead. And I'm going to abide by the Game of Thrones rule that unless we see them die, and I think we might even talked about this on the past episode.
Yes, we did.
They're not dead.
Yeah.
We know Carter Verone is in prison.
Yeah.
We know that Sonny Chiba is still out there.
Yeah. DK just left. He just got vanquished. Yeah.
Well, he tumbled down the mountain. I'm assuming he's alive.
Yeah.
Cypher is still parachuting out of the sky somewhere.
True. She's still literally in the sky.
The Shaw brothers are now part of the family. I guess the only real villain who died is Reyes, right? Because Reyes got obliterated. He got shot. He got killed by the Rock in Fast 5.
Yeah.
But he's not really a villain as much as just the head of an organization.
Yeah, but wasn't he in 6 in prison though?
No, that was Reyes. That was Braga. Braga,
Sorry,
not
yes,
Reyes.
Braga, not Reyes. You're right. Okay.
Also, by the way, Braga was just in a movie that Mike and I watched. He was in Replicas, Keanu Reeves' movie, as Keanu's dickish boss.
Nice.
Not as cool as Braga, but
Yeah.
he's in there.
But close.
Bottom line, I don't know that he's dead. We would love to have him back, though.
Yeah, we always, we fantasize about this. I'm sure you'll get to an episode where we rank the bad guys and stuff like this if you're going back. And we talk about it, and there's many that we would like to see come back. I would like to see come back. We've kind of gone more bad than Johnny Tran, right? The only thing that Johnny Tran could really do in this situation is come back and somehow help the family fight a bigger bad guy, I think. I don't think that he could come back as a bad guy.
Right, yes.
Do you agree?
Well, he could come back, but I think he would have to be, I don't know.
Maybe he would be an underling for a badder guy kind of thing.
I think that would be there would have to be some kind of behind the scenes manipulation by a Thanos type character who's recruiting or Cypher or whoever, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you Google Fast and Furious Johnny Tran, it does say death 2004 shot by Brian O'Connor, but if he came back, it wouldn't be the craziest thing that happens in these movies.
Yeah, true.
Also, Rick Yoon, if you are listening, he plays Johnny Tran, we would love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Number 2, in Too Fast, Too Furious, what is the point of hiring 2 drivers to deliver the money? Wouldn't it make more sense to put all the money in one car and have the 2 guards accompany it?
Oh, I know the answer to this.
Go for it.
It's always better to split it, because if one driver gets caught, the other one can get away, right? Mm-hmm. So if the cops are chasing... The cops can chase both drivers, but if you have the option to split, the cops are going to probably focus on one guy. You have more of a chance of getting half the money through than you do of losing all the money, is what the situation is. So that's always why I assumed that you needed 2 drivers and you wanted 2. Plus that you can kind of help each other, you know what I mean? If he's starting to get caught, the other driver can come by and distract the cops again. You can play this cat and mouse game. It's much safer for them. So that's what I'm assuming. I don't know the real answer, but that was always my logic behind it.
I believe it works for me.
Cool.
His third question, would you have preferred Brian O'Connor to have a more meaningful end on screen? I love Paul Walker, and his last season of Fast 7 was perfect, but from a story perspective, maybe something else would have been more impactful. So sorry it's so long. Thanks, guys. Keep on going forever.
We will.
I like the ending. I don't have a better ending in mind. I also think you kind of have to be respectful of the fact that
he did
at
die.
that point,
Yeah.
that he did die, but also that you're CGIing his face onto other people's bodies, and to have a bigger, whatever kind of fancier ending or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, see, I think the only ending that could have topped him driving off into the sunset is them killing him. But I think that because of the gravity of him dying in real life is so real that they couldn't have made Vin be in a scene where Brian's dying. Because then you'd have to because these guys are friends, you know what I mean? They know this person in real life. So if you have to pretend your friend is dying to sum up the movie, that would be just emotionally tolling for the actors.
And I think in terms of a positive farewell as opposed to the one where he
Yes,
dies,
agreed.
He retired on top of the game,
Yep.
right? He basically won the championship, won the Stanley Cup, and then hung up his jersey, right? It's just
Jersey in the rafters. I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't remember exactly, but I think we're going to get another question or two about Brian and that character in a later email, so we'll come back to that. But shout out Salvador Pena. Thank you for writing in.
Yeah, thank you for writing in, man. We always love new fans. I'm glad you wrote in. I hope you keep writing in. I hope you keep listening.
Next email is Wes, and I'm going to skip this just for now just because it's the longest one. I'm going to go to the other 3 because the other 3 are shorter.
Cool.
They're all from the same person.
Go for it.
So Wes will come right back to you. The last 3 are from Justin Kleinman, who has written in before.
Ooh,
If
Justin's
you remember.
back.
Justin's back. He wrote 3 emails. Justin is the one, if you remember, he took a trip to the spots in California. He sent us pictures.
Yes.
He's from Minneapolis, so shout out, go Vikings. They had a good draft by all intents and purposes.
Yeah, they didn't do bad.
I saw something that like they were ranked 14th. They had the 14th best draft. I was like, go fuck yourself. Like they had. I'm happy with Vikings draft. That's all I know. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, everybody's happy with their team's draft. Like I'm ecstatic.
Unless you're
with
a
the
Giants or a Raiders fan.
Very, 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 very true. But I hope the Raiders crash and burn so hard. Sorry, I know that somebody. I think that some of our listeners are from the Bay, so I apologize. But
Just be a Niners fan.
I'm a Steelers fan, and so I have very strong opinions about your team after this season. That's all I have to say. Go ahead. Okay, no more.
Shout out
sports.
AB. I was going to say just become a Niners fan because it's so easy to change team allegiances. And also, Nick Bosa seems like such a good, upstanding dude to root for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, between those two teams, okay.
Although, realistically, you have the greatest basketball team that's ever played basketball.
True.
So
Very true.
You got other things going on for you in the Bay Area.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
First email from Justin. Subject line, Roman's airplane. In the scene in 6 where Roman turns the plane around and gives the ladies buffet vouchers, have
Which
you ever
is
thought
so
about the
fantastic.
fact
Good.
that he still has to ride with them all for a while on the plane?
Yes,
It's not like
I
he's
have.
parachuting out.
Sorry.
No, that's it. That's the end of the email. Just, yeah, like...
No,
yeah,
I
that's
definitely thought about it because I'm
awkward
like,
as hell.
how fucking awkward would this plane ride be? I would have like secretly told the pilot to like turn it around, and like when we like landed back in the thing, and be like, "Oh damn, girls, you fucked it up again. Here's your voucher. See you later." You know, like
But, you know, so they're on the way to wherever they're going
Monaco.
to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, right?
Monaco.
And
No, they're on their way to Monaco.
They're going to Monaco, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you? I wanted.
Go ahead.
This is kind of like the Mike Manzi, the question we've been asking Mike in the last lap, like who would you want to ride with? I want to see what happens after that scene. So like they turn around, Roman lands back at home, he goes off to do his thing. Do the girls stay on the plane? Like, are they like, I guess we'll do this, or do they all like? Because they're all probably. I'm fascinated by what happens in that plane. Like, do
No,
they
he
get
kicks
off
them
with him?
off. He drops them off in Monaco and gives them buffet vouchers.
Oh, so he finishes the ride,
yeah, because they're almost there.
drops them off. Okay,
Because that's why he says,
okay.
I'm going to give you the buffet vouchers. He kicks them off the plane at Monaco and doesn't give them hotels or anything now, and then goes to Dubai or whatever to meet with Brian and Dom.
Do you think that any of them would want to stay on the plane and be like, no, fuck this? Like, why would I like, this is not like a trip, this is not a vacation or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
This is the thing. It's like, it's a private plane, so like all the people that are like on the plane, like the pilot and stuff, they could just like throw your ass off like on the runway.
True.
Like there's not like flight attendants or like FAA rules, you know what I mean? Like they could throw as big as a tantrum as they want, and like they could just still
True.
kick these girls off.
next email, Furious7. I
ahead.
always love the funeral scene where Dom is just giving his own eulogy at the casket in the middle of the actual eulogy. Also, have you ever wondered who delivered the steak dinner to Shaw in the factory in the middle of the desert?
Yeah. When who walks in? Doesn't Brian just walk in? Like they all just like swarm him.
Is he Brian or Dom?
Yeah, I think it's Brian walks in, but you're right. Yeah, there's just a steak dinner. Maybe it's a lamb dinner. Camel? Maybe it's
Ooh.
camel. Maybe,
But still, like, you know, you gotta deliver it, you gotta prepare it. I mean, there's probably
we
a
just
kitchen on site there.
Assumed
But,
his meat.
well, no, I mean, you could say it's a steak dinner. Like, it could be like a camel steak, or it could be a
True.
lamb steak.
Very
you know?
true. But I mean, to prepare a steak, you don't need much. You need a fire. That's about it, right?
It does seem like he has a fancy setup there. Like, he's got like a cloth napkin, he's got the plates, he's got the silverware. So
Maybe it was on the plane that he took in. Maybe he had like a Roman type jet himself, and he just took it off the plane.
maybe that's food from the buffet
In Monaco.
in Monaco.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
He says, I've never given any thought to No Knees Denise before this podcast. I've always just imagined the grandpa from King of the Hill, which is a show that I've not watched yet. I've been meaning to, so I don't get that reference. So, Justin, if you want to write in, let us know what that's about. But,
Yeah, I've watched.
Oh, I was
something
talking to you. So
Go ahead.
another thing that I did since we last recorded is I went to a 1-year-old's birthday party. I've never been to a 1-year-old's birthday party before.
How'd that work out?
I'm friends with the parents. It's fine. It's I just drank beer and ate sandwiches. Like, it's good.
Cool.
The 1-year-old was wandering around, and he can walk supposedly, but he just won't.
Okay.
And so you would put him down, and he would just sort of like collapse. Like, it basically, like, his knees went away, and like his thighs would like land on his calves, and he would just start to crawl. And I messaged you because I was like, it's like he has
No
no
knees.
knees. And so then that sort of became this whole thing that we were trying to figure out, that maybe Roman took a baby to prom, and that's No Knees Denise because it's just somebody who crawls around. And then we
Maybe
thought
it was no knees, his niece, is what we were saying.
right, No Knees Denise,
Denise.
i.e. yes, the niece,
Like DA hyphen NIECE.
What we're saying is we got more No Knees Denise theories. Don't know that they're any closer to reality.
By the way, Rachel doesn't listen to these too much, but we were talking about the No Knees Denise thing. Rachel had no idea what we were talking about, and I had to show her the clip, and she lost it. She was like, "Oh my god, I never caught that before," and I was like, "Well, you've obviously not been listening to these because we've spent hours."
That's the crazy thing. It's a throwaway line or two or three in a 2 hour plus movie in a series of eight
movies
that I'm sure even if you've seen all 8 multiple times, you still might not catch it.
Yeah, it's just so quick and stupid.
But it has become the through line of this podcast.
It has, and people still want to talk about it. So yeah, we don't know what No Knees Denise is. We may never know. The world may never know.
And the last email, Fate of the Furious from Justin, and we're going to go back to Wes's, just last email from Justin.
Okay.
He says, the end barbecue always bugs me. Number one, everyone's drinking Budweiser and not Corona.
Maybe they paid more. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Did you notice that?
I don't think I did, but I also, remember there was the trivia about the first movie that it wasn't, like, Corona wasn't a sponsor, they just used Corona because that was the beer that the people in the scene drank, right? Like, the real racers drank, so maybe Budweiser, but still, if that's the case, man, I don't like Fate. I like Fate even less, you know what I mean?
Exactly, I agree.
He says, number two, why aren't Brian and Mia there? They're all rich. They could have flown in for it, which, again, I think that's the kind of thing where, like, sure, they could be there, but it's also, you kind of want to be respectful to
Brian,
the memory of Paul Walker.
Yeah.
I think it's the same kind of thing, like, if they're not going to call Brian and Mia in for a job, are you going to call them in for a barbecue?
That's the most family thing, though. Like, maybe they don't want to include them in the job, but, like, at least invite them to the fucking barbecue, right? Like, come on.
He says they need to CGI Paul's brother just to have him working the grill or tossing beers to Roman or something.
This is when you said that and you just pointed it out, Justin, in your email. I was thinking like, yeah, he would have had to been like on the grill and like Dom just like looks over at him and he just like gives like a wink or something, right? Like that's the most we could have got from that. But I think you'd have opened up a whole can of worms for the fans where they'd have been really pissed that like that's all we got of Brian in the movie. Like it would have just, you know how much people bitch about stuff. So
I think it would have been the kind of thing where people got happy and then they like thought about it, be like, wait, why is this happening?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it would have distracted from the movie. Like if anybody that saw it, they would just be like, that would be the one thing that they talk about. It's like, should they have used Brian? Should they not have used Brian? As opposed to like, is this movie shit? Which is yes. And like,
all right, last email, Relap recap from Wes. What up, fam?
What up, Wes? How are you doing, buddy?
It's both exciting and sad to see another lap in the books, but you can't move forward for infinity if you don't move forward at all.
True.
I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I do like the sentiment of it.
It sounded good. It's like one of those things like when somebody says something really meaningful that doesn't mean anything, you're just like, yeah, man.
It's almost like, it kind of feels in a way like
a Dom line from the movie.
No, I was gonna say like something like like Captain America would say about we can't, it's just like this motivational speech in the movie. But yeah, or Dom, any kind of like action franchise where it's like inspiring
we
platitudes.
Must go forward to not go backward, and you're like, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We will not go quiet into that good night.
Exactly.
What movie is that from? Oh, that's from Independence Day, right? Yes, of course. Last episode was fun, of course, and I'm glad to hear that F8 is kind of growing on you. It's still pretty low in my ranking, but there are enough fun moments that I don't hate it. I just hope whatever they do in the next one doesn't feel as disconnected from the franchise as F8 does to me. Splitting the team up might sound interesting in theory, but doesn't make for as entertaining a movie as they apparently thought it would.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Well, I'm going to wonder.
What?
They're splitting Hobbs and Shaw off, right? Basically sort of do their own thing. I'm going to wonder, because it's not like Hobbs is in the movie and we're like not with him. I wonder if we're going to feel the absence, or if we're going to be like the family is together again. I'm going to see how that feels. I don't know.
I think we're going to feel okay, because Hobbs was always like an auxiliary family member. Like
he's also so good. He's so good though.
He is. But like the news that we've said, news this week, we're getting John Cena.
Yes, we will get to that. We will get to that very, very shortly. Okay. After this email, we're going to get to that. So there are things to fill the gaps, I can tell you that much. Here are my new episode observations. First bullet, and I sent this to you on Facebook. I have no further comment on No Knees Denise for this episode.
We're still talking. See, Justin just sent an email about it. Wes, we still have to figure this shit out. We do.
Do you have a theory about No Knees Denise? Family at cageclub.me.
Because we'll read it. It's going to keep happening. We're going to keep talking about it.
Do not let the memory of No Knees Denise die.
The niece. No Knees the niece.
No Knees the niece.
Yeah.
Joey, you wondered about my favorite time travel movies. I actually haven't seen Primer, though I've heard how good it is. It's always been on my to-watch list for a long time.
Yeah.
So Primer's only 75 minutes long. The first time I watched it 3 times in a row, because it is
That's what everybody
dense.
says.
It's
you need to
dense
watch it
as
like
fuck.
You need to watch it like 3 times in a row, is what I've heard.
So I watched it once, I watched it again, and I watched it with commentary because I was just like, I don't know what's going on. But it's so unlike other movies because it's so specifically science-y.
Okay.
Because it's essentially the movie, like, I don't know if you know the background
Nope.
of it, Joe, but, like, it is basically time travel if time travel were, like, actually real, like, in terms of, like, pinpointing the way that the Earth's, I think, from what I remember, like, the Earth's rotation and things, like, move throughout time or whatever.
Yeah, there's the math that says that if you go fast enough away from Earth and come back, you will time travel.
Yeah.
Because of how space time works. If you travel far enough away fast enough, time slows down, and then you come back, more time will have passed and stuff. Yeah. So.
And that's in Interstellar too, like that thread, that whole thing where they go down to a planet, they come back up, and the guy in the ship has aged decades, even though they've been there for like 9 minutes, just because of the whole exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, space time.
But the guy who wrote and directed Primer, Shane Carruth, auditioned so many people to act in this movie, and none of them could nail the dialogue because it was so dense. He's just like, fuck it, I'll do it. So he did it himself. And then he wrote and directed and starred in, again, Upstream Color, which I adore.
I tried to watch that, and it was just like...
Oh, it's not your kind of movie, I don't think.
It's not my kind of movie. No, it's not.
No. Wes goes on, Time Crimes is one of my favorites because I love that director, who I saw him at Fantastic Fest, Nacho Vigalondo. And spoiler alert for Time Crimes, the movie does one of my favorite things a time travel movie can do, which is make the audience believe that a character can escape their fate by changing the past, only to discover that time is cyclical, and there's no such thing as free will, and we're all doomed to repeat our failures. So Wes's favorite thing in movies is to be depressing as fuck, apparently.
Yeah, coming from you.
Oh, okay, sorry. His next sentence. As you can see, I am a fan of uplifting cinema.
There you go, yeah.
So he gets it. Honestly, I just appreciate when a filmmaker can trick the audience with essentially the same plot in a new way. While not really a time travel movie, Memento is kind of similar in that way.
Agreed. Yeah, I like Memento. I'm a fan.
I loved 12 Monkeys and Donnie Darko when I was in high school. When I was in high school, in parentheses, of course.
That's a very high school movie to like, Donnie Darko, right?
I gotta watch that again, because I saw that once in college, and I remembered liking it, and then basically since I watched the movie, the internet has been telling me, like, oh, no, you can't like Donnie Darko. Like, Donnie Darko is for children.
I think it was the time it came out, and like, who we were at the time and what was happening, but like it was a very much like I'm a film snob in high school movie to like, I think.
Yes, I would think so.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Time is pretty cheesy, but it's a sweet story and an interesting concept.
I like
About
In
Time.
In Time is
with
one of
Justin
my favorites.
Timberlake?
Yeah. I watch that movie like at least like once every 6 months. I love it.
Really?
I've
never seen it.
Are you serious?
I've never seen it. Yeah, yeah.
It's so much fun. It's really fun. It's like, it's not great, but it's just a blast. Like, Rachel and I watch it all the time. It's a great movie.
Cool. Wes says About Time is in that same vein, which I have not seen, but it has my girl Rachel McAdams in it, so
Ooh, I love
I'm on
Rachel
board.
McAdams. I'm a big fan. Is she blonde or brunette in this movie?
Want to say brunette?
Ooh, I could do either or. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no preference on my end.
Yeah.
The Bill and Ted movies are unassailable and perhaps the most pure examples of time travel hard sci-fi we will ever get in cinema. Which, I mean, I love those movies. We talked about them in Keanu Club. But ultimately, my favorite time travel movies to pick apart are the Back to the Future movies.
Fair.
Because they're so fun and their science aligns more with how I think time travel really works. But more importantly, and this is my favorite thing about his email, because he calls her this, they are Mrs. Wes's favorite movies in the world. I love that he calls his wife Mrs. Wes.
That's awesome. I hope
and
so.
nothing irritates her more than me telling her all the ways that Doc and Marty's plans don't make sense, or how the first one is really a tragedy because Marty is coming back to someone else's life that he has no memories of. Nothing observationally groundbreaking, just especially fun for me.
Yeah, I can understand how much your wife would enjoy you pointing out all the plot holes in a movie that you've seen a million times as you make her watch it again. Rachel also enjoys that.
Hey, you know how you love these things? Like, let me pick them apart and show you why they're bad.
Exactly. I mean, just like any time that I'm like trying to like explain something about a movie to Rachel, she's just like, "Can you just shut the fuck up? Like, just I don't want to hear anything that you have to say right now." Which is like actually that's most of the time, but especially when it's like a movie we've seen or something.
Fair, understandable.
Very.
I will not stop talking, but I understand where you're coming from.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Scott Eastwood being kind of a poor man's. Oh, this is a weird story. Not a weird story, just a funny story. Being a kind of a poor man's Zac Efron, because we had a friend in town who's also a big Fast and Furious fan, and she was telling us that she recently noticed Zac Efron has tiny baby hands. And I was like, huh, okay. So naturally, I mentioned your Zack Attack podcast and that you were covering F8 for the show soon, which would be the perfect time to email you about his baby hands. It was a full 10 minutes later before we both remembered, oh wait, that's Scott Eastwood, not Zac Efron. And we were both disappointed in ourselves and the casting choice. When I was reading this email, I was like, I don't think Zev has tiny baby
Yeah, I
hands.
didn't know this either. And we were like, we've seen him at Baywatch. We've seen like a lot of like he's drinking beers and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
To answer your question about them filming in Cuba, I think this was from an interview I read with F. Gary Gray, but if I remember correctly, he said F8 was the first major motion picture to film in Cuba since the borders reopened. I don't know how much of that opening scene was filmed there, but I think most, if not all of it. He talked about getting the big sweeping overhead shots of the city and all the locals gathering around the monitors to watch and people crying because they'd never seen their city from the air like that before. It's pretty cool to read about.
I thought that they would have to shoot it. They're so big, right? Like it has to have been there. But how much of it we would never know. You're right.
Exactly.
Like it could all be fucking in a studio somewhere. Besides like the aerial shots. Who knows?
I don't know if Mike will hear this part. Neither do I. Mike, email us, family@cageclub.me, you know. But he says he wants to see Vin Diesel change up his look and maybe grow a beard. Tell him to watch The Last Witch Hunter, which I saw in theaters, believe it or not. He'll get to the Viking Vin Diesel with a silly haircut and an absurd braided beard.
Ooh.
It was this movie that I thought was like he's like in the 1600s or something, but like it's modern day. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, he's a witch hunter in like 2016 New York. I was like, what? Very strange choice.
Very strange, man.
Wes says, I liked your 7-movie marathon choices. I also appreciate, while I was thinking about what I would pick, you specifically asked which Turtles movie I would choose. I hate to disappoint you, but I would go with the original 1990 live-action movie. Secret of the Ooze was my favorite as a kid, but I don't know how recently you've seen it, but it does not hold up.
Oh, I love Secrets of the Ooze, but the original one is it's classic. It's 1,000%. Yeah, it will never die.
He says, the first one is a surprisingly strong movie even now. The second one is way more silly, and they weren't even allowed to use their weapons. Plus, Judith Hoag is a superior April O'Neil, and Casey Jones is nowhere to be found in part 2.
True.
As far as the third one goes, I tried watching it a few years ago and couldn't get through it. Surprisingly, this combination of two things I love, time travel and turtles, is actually very bad.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
Anyway, they're a little off the cuff and in no particular order, but here are my picks. My only deciding factor was that they had to be fun. In parentheses, I love The Dark Knight, but I wouldn't call it fun.
Okay.
And I ended up with mostly movies I watched a bunch as a kid up through high school. So here are Wes's picks for the franchise game, which Joe Reed gave us before, too.
Okay.
First up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990. Spider-Man 2.
Okay, yeah, I like Spider-Man 2.
The Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Oh, so we got a doubler.
We got two drifts.
Joe
two
3,
Tokyo drifts.
Joe 3, right? He sent in the list? Yeah, and Wes. Okay, Tokyo Drift on both. Cool.
Jurassic Park, the original.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Back to the Future 2.
Ooh, I like 2.
Batman Forever, which is the third one.
Oh my god, I love Batman Forever so much. Kiss from a Rose. Rachel and I sing Kiss from a Rose once a week when we're drunk.
Well, also, I mean, that is your distraction song, if you'll remember from our game, so I would hope you sing it a lot. That's the one you chose, like if you had to do a Roman-esque distraction,
Rose
like
is what I picked?
in Fury 7, Kiss from a Rose, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I was feeling at the time. I love that song, so awesome.
And his final movie is Scream 2, with Timothy Olyphant in it.
Yeah.
He says, that's all I've got for you this week. I'll finish out with my rankings. I don't really remember how I ranked them before, so I can't say if they changed much, but this podcast definitely makes me think about these movies from a different perspective.
Good.
1 to 6 can shift around at any time, but 7 and 8 are pretty firmly in last place.
Okay.
So he has from the bottom. So let me bring up his old rankings.
Oh, you have them. That's right, because you keep all this
Of course
stuff.
I do.
That's great.
Of course I do. Who do you think I am?
The best. You're the best keeper, man. You are.
I'm the keeper of the. I'm.
What's the song? It's you don't know Seinfeld. It's Master of the Inn, Keeper of the Dun, dun, dun. No.
It's lost on me.
Master of the house, doling out the charm, ready with a handshake and an open palm. Tells us all she can, loves to make a step.
What is that
Everyone
song?
appreciates it. Oh, it's from Les Miserables. I went to see it last week. I can't get it out of my head.
His number 8 pick is Too Fast, Too Furious, which is still his number 8 originally.
Okay.
Number 7, he has Fate of the Furious, which is, again, still the same.
Okay.
Number 6, Fast and Furious number 4, which is the same.
Okay.
Number 5, Furious 7, which has changed a little bit.
Go down. It went down.
It was number 4, now it's 5.
Okay.
Number 4, Fast and Furious 6, so he flip-flopped that. That was 5-4 before, and now it's 4-5.
Okay.
Number 3, he has Tokyo Drift, which is the same. Number 2, the original of Fast and Furious. which is the same, and number 1, Fast 5, which is the same.
Cool. So he's still set.
Pretty consistent, pretty
we
solid.
One. So I like it. Okay.
Looking forward to Joe's excellent voices for the next chapter of the fanfic, and looking forward to starting a new lap. Until next time, stay furious, Wes.
We will, Wes. Thank you for writing in, brother.
So now Wes gave us a car picture, and he says, I don't know if you're doing the car game this episode, so I'll include one, but if you want to save it for the first episode of Next Lap, that's totally fine. I don't remember if we do, but this is up to you, Joe. Do you want to do
I don't know. Let's see how we feel.
Okay. Because this is already a long episode, but we're nearing the end, I think. So
I think maybe.
I'll leave the tab open. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So cool. So thank you all for writing in. family@cageclub.me. If you want to send your rankings, if you have not yet. If you want to send your franchise picks for picking 7 movies from franchises, different franchises, and sort of cobbling together a movie marathon. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
If you want to just say hi, family@cageclub.me. And also, once again, if you want to leave us a review on iTunes, that would also be greatly appreciated.
We forgot to pitch on the note of the movie thing. Should we pitch our idea and see if everybody likes it?
What's our idea?
I wanted to do a family.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do a family. So we're starting the next lap, right, guys? I want to do a family viewing of Fast and Furious. So there's a service called Rabbit that's free. Everybody can log in, and we could do a family viewing of Fast and Furious together. And
it's essentially it's a screen sharing.
Think of a little chat
site.
room.
Yeah.
And Joey and I said that we would like to watch it, and if anybody would like to join us, and you think that's a cool idea, we'll put it out there. If nobody joins, we'll watch the movie together too.
So we will. So actually, let's plan this right now, Joe, because we're gonna need to let people know when we're doing this. So this episode comes out on Tuesday, May 7th. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one's gonna come out on Tuesday, May 14th.
Okay.
Let me just make sure that this all lines up right. I would like to do the first one, but I think it's too. I think the timing is too tight to get people to actually if they want to hear it. So I think we should do this for Too Fast, Too Furious.
You wanna do it for the second one?
Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind either way. I would just like to do a family viewing of one.
Yes.
And have everybody, if they want to join, you could join in and we'll be in the chat room and we'll watch it all together. We'll pick a good time. I was thinking about a 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Eastern time kind of thing. So if you're on the West Coast, it'll be 6 or 7, and we could. And if you want to watch the movie with us, we'll watch a movie. And you can chat in the thing, and we'll all watch it together and laugh and have fun.
So what we're gonna say right now is Tuesday, May 21st, okay?
Okay.
Family viewing of Too Fast, Too Furious. If you want to get the link, if you want to know where we're watching it and how to watch it, email family@cageclub.me, and I will send you the link, and we'll do it that way. And if nobody does it, we'll just watch on our own, and we'll record the next night. But if you want to watch it together with us, email family@cageclub.me, Tuesday, May 21st.
I don't think I'll be here. I'm not going to be here, actually, on the 21st.
Oh.
Either way, we're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll put a thing on Facebook. If you want to join in, send us an email and just say you want to join in, and we'll get you hooked up, and we'll get the time and stuff down.
And we will also if this is a thing that's cool and people have fun with or whatever, we'll do it more than once.
For sure. It's gonna be easy to do. All you have to do is log in on your computer. I'm sure that there's some kind of fucking app on your TV or something that you can use too. We'll watch it all together. I mean, I've seen these movies so many times. Watching it on my computer screen versus watching it on my TV is not going to make a big difference. And plus,
also, if you're the kind of person who's going to join this, you've probably seen it enough too.
Exactly.
You're not watching it to watch the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna talk and laugh through it, and that's what I want to do.
So yes, that's good. I'm glad you brought that up. So we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do Tokyo Drift because we love Tokyo Drift, or maybe we'll do. Or what I was also thinking is maybe we'll do Fast and Furious number 4 because this is the 4th lap. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. But email family@cageclub.me if you're going to write in.
When we get it ironed out, we'll make a Facebook event for it, and we'll get all the stuff going.
So that was all the email. Again, leave us a review on iTunes. Send us an email, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page. Okay.
Yes.
On the streets, a news roundup of all things Fast and Furious. So there's been
so much.
There's
fucking
been some news.
We got some news.
Why don't you give your big news and I'll give my big news?
I kind of blurted it out earlier. My big news is that we're gonna get fucking John Cena in Fast and Furious 9. He's confirmed, firmly confirmed.
You can't see what I'm doing for 2 reasons: because we're not in the same room, but also because I'm waving my hand in front of my face.
I can't see you.
You can't see me.
Thugonomics. I get it. In our want, in our lust for The Rock and him leaving, and his tiff with Vin.
Vinaigrette Dieseldorf.
Vinaigrette Dieseldorf, yes. In his tiff with him, we're gaining another wrestler. So we're getting charisma. We're getting muscles.
Yeah.
We're going to get somebody like this. So I think that John Cena is going to be fun. I think that he's a little bit more funny than The Rock. Like, not that The Rock isn't funny, he's just a tad bit more serious. So hopefully he's going to become kind of like comic relief. And I think that he's a good fit to fill The Rock both physically and acting wisely, right?
Charismatically,
Yes. How do you feel about it?
I'm excited. I'm trying to bring up his IMDb page right now. It's not loading. I know
He was
that
in
I've seen him in
Blockers.
movies. He's very good in Blockers. He plays Amy Schumer's boyfriend in Trainwreck. He's not great in that. I think he was, very early in that. He's going to be in the new Suicide Squad movie, apparently. Oh, he's in Fighting with My Family.
Yep.
As himself, which I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in Bumblebee. He's fine. He's good in Bumblebee. But I want to see him. So here's the one thing I want for him.
Go ahead.
I don't want him to be like The Rock in Fast Five, where he's all business, military.
No, I want him to be fun and goofy. I want him to be more of a Roman character, that speed, right?
Right. I was gonna say I would like them to be Hobbs' brother or whatever. Like we're gonna get Hobbs' family in Hobbs and Shaw. Like that's not going to.
Who's gonna have Roman Reigns, another wrestler, in that movie too? Yeah.
So I want charisma. I think I would hope that that Chris Morgan and whoever else helps contribute to the scripts on these, that they learned that like The Rock is better when you give him more fun stuff to do.
True.
I understand you might want to ease him in here, but at the same time, let's have it be more fun than military. Whatever.
I agree, 1,000%. I'm with you. Yep.
My big news, like no offense to John Cena news,
I know,
but this is even more mind blowing. Rumor has it, and this is I think more of a rumor. Like it feels like the John Cena thing is more real than this.
It's real. It's like Vin confirmed. Like Vin took pictures with him. Was like he's added him to the family and stuff. Like it's the John Cena thing's like pretty much 100% confirmed.
Less real, and
Yes.
I kind of wish I didn't know this going to Hobbs and Shaw, because I would have shit my pants in the theater or ejaculated or something. Like fluids
Yeah.
would have come out of me.
Okay, vomited.
Rumor has it Keanu Reeves is going to be in Hobbs and Shaw, which yes please.
Yeah.
Yes please.
Yeah, which is going to be crazy because you guys did Charlize. She's in a Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
You're going to do... If Keanu joins one, we just need fucking Nicolas Cage and Tom Cruise in the next one, and we can just wrap this bad boy up. We can just call it a day.
Exactly. I cannot fathom how exciting that would be, because you and I were talking on Facebook, and I think we've even talked about on here, about how I would love to have Nicolas Cage in these movies, but I don't know that he's necessarily a great fit anymore. Just because
so we talked about
he's
it. Yeah,
older and he's got this reputation.
and you said it perfectly. Joey said that he would need to be like a Sony Chiba.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be like a guy that's there in a couple scenes, but he can't be like a main character, right? Because I think that the movies, no offense, Joey, you know that I'm a big fan of Cage too. They have become bigger than Nicolas Cage at this point.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're just a bigger movie. You can't have him come in and be like the new Vin Diesel in these movies, or Brian or anything. Like he has to be like a low tier character, which wouldn't really do him justice. But I could see it maybe happening, but it's much more rare than Keanu coming in doing like kind of like a John Wick in one of the movies or something.
Because as we went through Keanu Club and as we finished out his career, we realized, me and the Mikestir, that he's sort of transitioning into a different part of his career where he's more willing to play the villain. Like he's the villain in a movie that he directed called Man of Tai Chi, which is badass and awesome. He plays a villain of sorts in The Neon Demon, or he plays like a despicable kind of minor character.
Yeah.
He plays the villain in The Bad Batch. Like he feels like he's sort of taking these parts where he doesn't have to be the star anymore. It's like it's opening
cool.
him up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very cool. It's opening him up to get like much cooler parts in cooler movies. So he would be cool as a villain. I think he'd also be cool as a cop. I mean, there's headlines are saying that John Wick is going to fight Hobbs and Shaw. I mean, if it's John Wick in these movies, fuck yeah. But also, your friend said that he wants him to be Johnny Utah from Point Break, which also,
Yes.
fuck yeah. Like, yes, please.
That's what my coworker Taylor said. He was like, I want this to come full circle. I want Keanu to just play Johnny Utah, his name to be Johnny Utah, and he plays a cop, and that it just Point Break and Fast and Furious just finally merge and become the same movie. And then they're in the same universe, and it's just the same shit. We can maybe get Patrick Swayze in there, just like the whole thing. We can just
Yeah, just
tuck
see
it all
Jack
together.
Swayze and Brian back in there. And,
Exactly.
They could just be surfing together in heaven.
Yeah.
My other news is that this is a minor thing. I did not realize that. So F. Gary Gray, who did Fate of the Furious,
Yes.
is directing the new Men in Black MIB International. It's coming out this summer, which is with Thor and Valkyrie from Thor: The Ragnarok. It's with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Cool.
Which I'm not excited about until I think about it. I'm like, oh wait, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Thor is cool, dude. I like Chris Hemsworth. I think he's pretty fun.
News broke today, as we're recording this, that F. Gary Gray is now going to be making a Saints Row movie based on the video games, which I like. They are. It started out as like this kind of like ghetto Grand Theft Auto game. The first one like was so much fun. Like it came out the summer after the Xbox 360 came out, and that game came out, and the first Dead Rising game came out. And I played the shit out of both of those.
Okay.
And they both became franchises, and I really like both franchises. But that first one was just so good. They went from being like a Grand Theft Auto kind of clone in the ghetto, sort of, to just like this crazy over the top where you are literally a superhero. And so I don't know what the movie is going to be like, but if it's as fun as the games are, I think it'll be a fun time. And
Cool.
F. Gary Gray, he's made some fun stuff, and so not that we're huge fans of Fate of the Furious, but shout out F. Gary Gray.
Gotta put respect on his name, man.
Yeah. I think that's all the news that I have. I mean, that's big news. But is there any other news that you found about?
No, that's
these movies?
3 huge pieces of news. I mean, 2 monstrous pieces of news. So
what I'm going to do now is I'm going to search for Rock the Vote. I'm going to search The Rock President and see if there's any updates on Dwayne Johnson running for president. Kid Rock says Donald Trump is, quote, way cooler than Barack Obama, so that's something.
that's a news article.
Dwayne Johnson, president. Dwayne The Rock Johnson loves New Mexico, and the feeling is mutual.
Oh, that's a little bit.
2 hours ago, though, here Dwayne Johnson may be teasing a Marvel Cinematic Universe role. So at some point, everybody's gonna be in those movies. But
agreed, yeah, for sure.
Shout out Dwayne The Rock Johnson. No updates. He is not running for president as of right now.
Oh, fair.
So this is a part of the show where we normally do new lap observations. We don't have those. So let's reflect on some old lap observations. So let's look back at the Ridealong Lap. What do you think about having the Mikestir on all 8 episodes?
I mean,
be honest.
I love Mike, and I'm really glad with his insight. I think that.
But
what?
I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to get you to say something like terrible, but no.
I was like really confused. I was like, but what? Like, well, would I ever? No, he was great on it. I think he's a natural fit for us. I think you guys could hear it. Like, we've done a lot of episodes of everything with Mike, so he's easy to get along with, and he's a great guy. So. Yeah, and plus, like, I usually think pretty wacky shit. Usually think pretty wacky shit, and then you throw another third brain in there that's just as weird as ours. It makes a nice combination. We talked about a lot of new, interesting, different stuff this lap, so I was happy with it.
I'm excited to now. Like, I'm more excited than I was to have Kara on for lap 5, the driving school, because I know
I'm very excited.
How the show kind of evolves as time goes on, right? And you can have one guest on 8 or 9 episodes in a row, and you can sort of continue conversations over the course of 16 or 18 weeks.
Yeah, you can. It feels weird. I mean, we were talking about it. We're always talking behind the scenes, like, how is something going to play out? We can't really know until we try it, right? But I think that, like, I was very relieved looking back on the lap that it felt fresh. It felt refreshing to me. I'm definitely not. Personally, I'm definitely not bored of these movies, even in the least yet.
Right.
And I still like talking about them with new people. I like talking about them with people we talked to them about before. Like, obviously we talked to Mike about Fast and the Furious before he was on the lap, just because he's around, we see him, we talk to him. So, like, he's in the know, and it still felt good to talk to him about it. I don't feel like it was dull. I don't feel like it dragged on, and I don't feel like I was, like, ever bored at any point. So that's great.
I also we were talking about, we would be happy to do another ride-along lap of sorts with somebody else. We'd have to figure out who that person would be, like, why that would work here. But I think, similar to, like, the last thing I said, I think that just Mike being on here was not only fun, but also proved that, like, what this show could be. Because I think there's fun and there's something interesting about having a different guest every episode.
Definitely is.
And, having some people, like having Brian back once a lap or whatever, but I think there's something cool about the continuity. I mean, ultimately, like, the greatest thing would be, like, if Mr. Vin Diesel himself is just like, hey, like, let's do a lap with everybody, like the Vin Diesel ride-along lap. I mean,
yeah, that would be
Vin Diesel,
incredible.
Open door policy. You are always welcome on the show.
Obviously. The other thing I think was really cool about this lap is that Fast and Furious 3, the crossover extravaganza, worked so beautifully for me. And, we were planning that for a while. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that Brian could come on. We could do the high school aspect, the Fast and Furious aspect, the third movie aspect, and how that even though that was really long all put together, it all kind of worked out for me. I'm super happy with this lap. I'm still impressed, and I'm excited for the next one too.
Absolutely.
Movie-wise, I don't have, like, our plans for the next lap. We're gonna track the chain, Sisterhood of the Traveling Chain.
Yep.
We're gonna do that.
So here's the question. I don't remember what we've said on past episodes about what we're going to include or not, but this lap we asked Mike every movie, and we also answered who do you want to ride with and what car scene do you want to ride in.
Yes.
So we talked about that. The question we're going to ask everybody next lap, that we're also going to answer ourselves. What's the first thing you think of when you think of this movie? So, like, when you think of Too Fast, Too Furious, is it
Roman.
Is it the scene in the club where there's a rat eating a guy's chest?
Yeah, it could be a scene, a character, anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or is it
What's
We
the
Ain't
first thing you
Hungry No
think of?
More, or whatever?
Yeah, We Ain't Hungry No More is, yeah.
I think that'll be a good conversation piece about, because it's not necessarily your favorite thing about the movie, although it might be.
Yeah, but it's just
sort of the most memorable thing.
Yeah, true.
Again, we were saying, I think, at the beginning of this episode, or no, actually, I was saying to you before when I sent you the list of who's going to be on the episodes for this next lap. This next lap, we're also going to change something up. We're going to have a couple more episodes, a couple extra episodes.
I mean, you guys have written in about it. Like, the hardcore fans have talked about it. But we're finally going to watch Los Bandoleros. We're finally going to watch, what's the next one called?
We're going to do the Turbocharged Prelude.
Turbocharged Prelude.
The 6-minute thing that Wes said is not very good. Brian goes from L.A. down to Miami.
Yeah.
We're going to do an episode about that between the first and second movies. We're going to do Los Bandoleros between 3 and 4.
Yep.
We're going to have a special Hobbs and Shaw preview episode.
Yeah, because we're going to go see that. It's going to come out this lap. Yeah, true.
Yep. And then we're going to have some kind of like special immediate like Hobbs and Shaw reaction episode. And then maybe I think what we could do is at the end of the lap, maybe you and I do a full episode about Hobbs and Shaw, and then the next lap we bring in Mike or what. You know what I mean? Like
it's going to fit in. It's going to come after 8. This is going to be the 9th movie because we're going to watch them as they come out. So
yep.
Yeah.
This is going to be like a 13 episode lap, I think, which is going to be the show's not that old, but it's going to be the longest in a series so far. So
yeah,
we got some fun stuff coming up, I think. So
I think so too. I'm excited for it.
I hope you are excited too. I mean, email us family@cageclub.me if you have ideas for episodes or things for us to cover or whatever, or things you want to see on the show or segment ideas.
We
whatever.
take suggestions, man.
Exactly.
We have some laps planned out, so it might not pan out immediately. But we're doing this fucking forever, so if you're in for the long haul, we are too, and it'll come around eventually.
Yes, sir. So now, Joe, this lap, we added a question.
Yes.
We need to both answer it.
What is it?
Revenge of the Nerds or The Dark Knight?
Revenge of the Nerds. I was always a nerd growing up. Revenge of the Nerds gave me hope that one day I might touch a girl's boobs too. So
I like that answer. I wish that I could give that answer myself. I've never seen Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, God.
So by default, I gotta go The Dark Knight.
Oh, that sucks. Revenge of the Nerds is cool. It's a fun movie. It's very late 80s, early 90s kind of comedy. Yeah, it's a good time. Go give it a watch. It's worth it. It's not bad. Plus, you have like some great lines. It's along the lines of Animal House. It's just like Animal House from a different perspective, right? Like it's very similar. So
I get it. That'll do it for that segment. I don't think we have any more questions. So next up, we have our favorite game, unless I'm missing anything. This ain't no 10-second race, aka...
No, we have to do our fucking rankings.
Well, oh, right. Well, okay. We can do our rankings. Sure. Okay, let's do that.
I wanted to say that Joey has been super bonered to re-rank the movies. What our, general rankings are, right?
Yep.
And I told him I am absolutely not doing that this lap.
Because you are nothing if not a team player.
I'm not a team player unless I want to be. So, no, I'm not re-ranking my movies yet. I'm going to wait till the end of lap 5, give 5 an even round 5 watches, and then I'll re-rank my movies. But would you like to go first, or would you like to hear my alternative rankings?
Well, so here's the thing. So we now have, between people who have been on the episodes and people who have written in, including us, we have 19 different rankings of the movies.
Okay.
Not joke rankings, not like, my favorite sponsors from last lap.
No.
Not whatever you did last lap. These are actual favorites 1 through 8, okay?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do here, I'll give mine quickly. I'm going to erase yours, because as you requested, I'm going to erase yours. So we're going to average 18 different ones.
Okay.
So here are my rankings from 8 to 1, which I think I don't know that they're too different from what they were.
Okay.
They're different from they originally were. So number 8, Fate of the Furious. Again, I like it more each time, but it's still not,
Yeah.
I don't like a movie less than that.
Dude, I can't wait till we have to put Hobbs and Shaw in this. Wow, it's gonna be weird.
We're going to need everybody's new rankings.
I know. Yeah, or just where it is. Yeah.
Number 7, I have Fast and Furious. Number 4.
Okay.
And number 6, I have Too Fast, Too Furious. So I flip-flop those from my original or something. They're not, again, I like both those movies.
Yeah.
I just like the other ones more.
But 2's creeping up on you. It is.
2's creeping up. Number 5, Tokyo Drift.
Okay. Whoa.
Which fell a couple spots, I know.
Yeah.
This, again, I might... this is so tough in here. This 3, 4, 5 is very tight.
It's very tight, yeah.
1 and 2 are clear for me.
Yep.
And then 6, 7, and 8 are clear for me in some order.
Yep.
But 3, 4, 5 is basically, I like them all equally, kind of.
Okay.
Number 4, I have the first one, Fast and Furious. Number 3, I have Furious 7.
Okay.
And then number 2 and number 1, the same
5
way
and
they
6.
were. Number 2, Fast 5. Number 1, Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So here we have, actually, here I want you to guess, because you give a sense of, what people have said, what people have written in. I know you don't remember verbatim, but you sort of have the sense of, like, what people like. I want you to guess what you think the 18 lists that we have, what the order is from favorite to least favorite. You can either go from most to least or least to most, because, I mean, it's sort of the same thing.
I'm going to go least is definitely Fate.
Yes, correct.
Second least is going to be...
Actually, hold on. So, Fate of the Furious has an average. So, it's an average of 1 through 8. So, if everyone gave a movie a 1, the average would be 1. If everybody gave the movie an 8, the average would be an 8.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, realistically, it's a 1 and change up to 7 and change. Fate of the Furious a 6.67, so not
it's
great.
low. Yeah.
It's low.
I'm going to go next one, Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift, no, it's actually higher.
4? Is it 4? Fast
4 is 7th with
Yeah.
a 6.44.
Okay, no, 2. 2 Fast, 2 Furious.
2 is number 5 with a 5.33, so it's almost got a whole full ranking point higher. So it's sort of a significant jump.
So I'm missing 6, huh?
The in sixth place is Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, okay, I was right. Okay.
So number 8 is Fate with a 6.67. Number 7 is the fourth one with a 6.44.
Yeah.
And number 6, this is so confusing. I'm even confusing myself when I'm looking at the numbers. Too Fast, Too Furious in 6th place with an average of 5.33.
And in 5th place is going to be Tokyo Drift.
Yep, with an average of 4.83.
Next one is going to be 7.
Yep, with an average of 3.75. And then the next
1?
one is very, very close. Yes, an average of 3.61.
And
so
then
that's
6
tiny
and
little
5.
gap. Yep, 6 is number 2
Oh.
with a 3.14. And then Fast 5 has an average of 2.22. Like, it is leaps and bounds.
How good did I do in that, by the way? I did pretty good.
You got antsy on Tokyo Drift, but other than that, once you sort of figured that out,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did pretty good. Because
Yeah.
you guys know that I drink a lot and I don't remember shit.
people love 5, man. Like, people love 5.
Yes.
I think we both think that 6 is better, but 5 is the one that kind of broke things open, right? So
Yeah. So in that vein, this was the Ridealong Lap. And,
Yep.
and I had a thought that my alternative rankings this time, it's not really a rankings, it's just an alternative list.
Yeah.
This is going to be my ride-along list. That if I were to show someone the Fast and the Furious for the first time,
Yeah.
and they had never seen them, never seen anything about them, this is the order that I would show them the movies in. Can't be right, can't be wrong. This is just the order that I would choose to show them the movies in.
Now, does this list differ? Here's a question for you.
What?
Does this list differ if, like, say, it's like a girlfriend versus just a buddy, or like, does it differ if you're watching with
So
somebody
I
as
thought
opposed to
about
watching
this,
on their own?
and I thought about this because, like, in my head, it was like, what order would I make my sister watch them in? What order would
Okay.
I make Rachel watch them in? But I think generally, I could give this list blindly to anyone, and I would be like, this is the order I think you should
It's about
watch
the
them
same
in.
for everybody. Okay.
Yeah,
You
like-
might tweak it based on who you're giving it to, but for the most part,
Yeah, like,
this
you know,
is the
like,
order.
somebody I
Okay.
deeply know, like you, Rachel, my sister. Like,
Yep.
I would obviously give you guys different lists.
Right, yeah.
But, like, this is my general list. Like, if somebody was like, hey, I'm going to start watching The Fast and Furious. I know you guys do a podcast. Which one should I start with, and what order should I go in? I would go this order. First movie, I didn't even know about the rankings. Fast 5. You got to go Fast 5, right? Good draw them in. Give them the whole family. Give them the heist stuff. You know, Fast 5, I think, is a good place to start.
Which is where I started.
Exactly, right? Like, it's a good place to start. It's a little actiony. It still has a lot of cars. You can go either way on this one, right?
Yeah.
And second one, I'm going to go the original Fast and Furious. You need to see where it started now.
Yep.
You go back, you learn about Brian, you learn about Dom, you learn about the beginnings, humble beginnings, where they are, where they started. Then you're like, oh, 5 makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Third one, Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
Got to cut Tokyo Drift in. Got to give you a little bit of Han. Got to take you outside the box a little bit. You know, introduce you. Everybody's going to be like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Curveball. This is the third one? No, I don't know these guys. You're like, yeah, I know. Wait and see. And 3 is obviously a prequel to give you 6 next.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because you
Yep.
need to know about Han and Han dying. I wanted to put 5 and 6 together, but I don't think you can because you can't kill Han before they know who Han is. Right?
Yes. I just love the way you said that. Yes. You can't kill him before you know him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's why I gotta give you 3 because I was thinking in my head I was like, oh, maybe we could do 6 first. Don't show the end credit scene. 3 and then show the end credit scene. But I was like, too many DVD switches.
Yeah.
This way's a little bit cleaner. This is cleaner.
Yeah.
There's not instructions in between, not when to stop, where to learn who Han is. Then we go to 6, World Longest Runway.
Yeah.
7 is next because
Okay.
you're gonna know that Paul Walker eventually has to go.
Right.
So let's bring it in here. Let's just fucking do it.
So that means that your last 3 are 2, 4, and 8, which are my 3 least favorite, and overall the least favorite in the franchise.
Yes. Next up, we're gonna go 4 because once Brian dies, got to kill Letty too, right? What? That was my logic. I was like, if you're actually sad that Paul Walker dies, you know Letty's still alive. So why don't we just fucking do it? After 4, gotta cut in some fun. Give you Too Fast, Too Forever. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yep.
No, I'm not gonna make you listen to the whole podcast.
At what point in the series do you make the person listen to every episode of this show?
But no, you cut in a little Tyrese. This one's a little fun. It kind of exists outside the canon. You know, that would be it. And then the last one, Leave 'Em with Fate. They've made it the whole way. You got to watch it like we did. You've made it this whole way. Tell me what you think now. You've seen where we were, where we went. Now, what do you think? And I think that's my order that I would go in to show a new person.
So let me see if I remember. So you have 5,
Yes.
1, 3,
Yes.
6, 7,
Yes.
4 to 8.
Yep.
Cool.
I think that's the definitive order I would show a new person Fast and the Furious in.
Joe,
What?
breaking news.
What?
New email from Wells Lamont.
Right now?
Just came in.
Breaking news. Okay, cool. Okay. So yeah, that was my rankings this time. That doesn't have anything to do with the rankings of how I like them, but that was my list I made for this movie set, this lap.
Cool.
Throw that paper away.
This is the subject line. In honor of John Singleton passing away, I would like to share some of my favorite lesser-known lines, classic lines,
Okay.
from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay.
Wells writes, one of my favorite lines in 2F2F.
Was he just like, was his ears tickling? Like, did he just like know we were doing this? Holy shit, this is crazy that he wrote in like right as we're recording. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. But every time we're recording, I always like check my phone to see if anything, popping
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
anything coming in, and I was like, oh shit, like this actually, this matters. Okay, one of my favorite lines in 2F2F is in the scene where the one cop got pissed at Roman because Roman shot him earlier in the movie.
Yes.
In this scene, Bilkins tells Brian something about a drop with Fuentes, and Roman says to Bilkins, nah, there's only one problem, Fuentes, Verona's tapping her.
Yeah.
Bilkins replies in a deep, curious voice, tapping her? Tapping her how? It's funny because he's so intrigued and almost seems to want details of this possible bang sesh between Verona and Fuentes. Bilkins obviously meant he was tapping her like the feds or he's tapping her in the bedroom. I like to assume that Bilkins was asking about positions. I'll leave it at that without getting raunchy. Another under the radar line, butt stuff.
Yeah.
Another under the radar line I always thought was interesting in a 2F2F fantastically awkward way is when P Walks and T Gibbs go with the bodyguards to get the money at the trailer park, and all of a sudden you start to hear the helicopters and sirens. Brian's
Yes.
outside at this point, and he hears these helicopters and sirens and walks like 15 feet or so toward the sound. He looks around kind of puzzled, like it wasn't obvious that it was the police coming to get them. And then in a super dramatic but subtle way, he says, cops. His voice trembles and his jaw quivers in this close-up shot of Brian's face. It's another great, overly dramatic line delivered by Paul. It's a, quote, only funny once you notice it type thing, so me explaining it is more of a suggestion to look out for it next time you watch this masterpiece.
Well, you got me laughing just describing it, so I'm thankful already, but I promise I will watch for it.
Here's a
next time.
twist ending. This line is edited out of the cable version on USA and TNT, so if that's the only place you've seen it, you never would have heard this hidden gem.
Cops.
An all-time classic scene and one I make sure to pay attention to every time is when P Walks delivers the most lackluster line in movie history. I'm not exactly sure why the line came out the way it did. So him and Rome are about to race for pink slips versus the muscle car dudes, and the dudes walk up to Brian and Rome and say, we heard you boys want to get rid of those Cracker Jack toys, in which Brian comes back with, well, actually, we just thought these cars deserve better drivers, which is why we're going to take them off your hands. Now, I think Brian was going for smooth, unrattled, cool guy, but it came out so monotone and so underwhelming, it was like he was reading lines off a piece of paper as he woke up from a 6-year coma. And then, after the race, when they lose their cars, the pose that the two muscle car dudes are in with the two girls is so uncalled for.
Yeah, it's like back-to-back boy band.
He says it looks like an album cover for some Christian rock band. It's awesome. Dude on the left is super dramatic with his head down and his shirt blowing. John Singleton and the editor of this film must have had so much fun making this masterpiece.
Amen. R.I.P. John Singleton. Thank you, Wells, for writing in your favorite quotes. And thank you for making me laugh, man. You got me good there. And I always appreciate laughing. So thank you for that email.
2 more things before I finish up here. Have you guys seen Super Fast, the Fast and Furious spoof movie? I thought it was strange and not so great, but I'm gonna give it another chance. I hope they make another spoof that's really good because as lovers of the franchise, we deserve it, and it would be awesome. I never even heard of it before a little bit ago, and I don't remember why I heard. Why did it come up? Was it because was it in our film club where people were talking about like movies?
I think so.
Action movies, or like these kind of movies?
I think so. I think it was that. I think that we're getting to a point, Wells, where the movies are so big.
Yeah.
That we might actually get a good satire movie of them.
I also think they're just kind of becoming the satire movies of themselves in a way. In a way.
Very good point. Yeah.
So here's another thing. You know, there's movies. We always talked about doing pit stops, right? Like doing, laps where we have different movies or whatever. I'm thinking, maybe instead of doing that, 'cause I feel like, at least at this point in my life, where I'm still doing the Tom Tom Club and I'm still doing other stuff, I don't want to make this a weekly podcast, and I don't want to do the Fast and Furious movies less frequently than every 2 weeks.
Agreed.
So maybe, not this lap because we have the extra bonus episodes already, but maybe in future laps, maybe we just cut it into a movie or two and do a pit stop about Super Fast or about Torque or about, Smokey the Bandit or whatever.
Yep.
Where I think, because I still love the idea of pit stops, but I at least for now, until we start making, what were we saying, $120K a month on Patreon or whatever, and like this is a job, I don't want to cut in more episodes like that. But I'd be happy to do once a lap or twice a lap or whatever, just an extra movie, and go from there. So, okay. So, Super Fast, coming eventually to a podcast feed near you. Wells says, lastly, my friend who loves these movies, in parentheses, after I made him appreciate them enough to purchase all of them.
Word.
Shout out Wells. Wells, boy, we have a podcast for your friend.
Yeah, we've all been there, though. We've all had to convert somebody we know, somebody that we loved. We had to teach them the ways. Yeah. The ways of the road.
He says his friend thought a, quote, 10-second car meant how long it takes to work, or meant how long it takes to work on it. I know what you're thinking. What does that even mean? I asked him, and he said he thought it just meant an easy car to work on, a quick fix car. I politely explained to him that his car is quarter-mile time and how there's no such thing as a car that takes 10 seconds to work on.
That sounds like a friend that has never worked on a car before.
Or on anything.
Or built IKEA furniture, apparently.
Oh, I would love a 10-second
IKEA desk, right? Did you ever try to build an IKEA dresser?
I built
fucking 4 hours.
When I bought my house, I built the king bed, which is actually easy.
The beds are easy. I'm talking dressers. When you have to build the shelves,
I built 2 end tables, which are basically like a half a dresser.
Yeah.
I also built a desk, and I built 2 bookshelves. Like, it was
painful.
15 hours of my life building those like 6 things.
No, dude, the dressers are the worst. And Rachel likes to buy these dressers with like fucking like the wacky flip up top and shit like that. These are like 7-hour dressers that we're building IKEA furniture.
The weirdest thing about it, so like the IKEA thing, like it's all like it is simple to do.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the instructions, you're like, I don't know how what I'm building and how these pieces look. I don't know how this becomes a dresser. And it's like you build the dress, you build the drawer like upside down or what. It's just like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
10-second car. Thank you.
Well says, okay, bros, great episode as usual. Always good stuff. Peace out. I'm a holler at you players later. P.S. Oil is at least 3 syllables. I went to Stanford and I majored in syllables and letter spacings. You should trust me on this.
He got me again at the end. I thought we were done laughing about this. Oils. How do you even say it with 3 syllables?
Oil.
Oil.
Oil. Oil.
Oh, okay. 3. Okay, oil.
He went to Stanford. He majored in syllables and letter spacing.
Okay. I trust him. I believe it. I have no reason to doubt Wells. No reason.
Cool. Well, shout out Wells. I mean, you came in right under the wire. That was perfect timing.
Yeah, I can't believe you're going to listen to this episode, or you're going to think your email didn't get in, but then we're going to smash you with it at the end there.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, now it is time, now that we've done our rankings, now it is time for this Ain't No 10-Second Race, a.k.a.
I need to like, settle down, because, sorry.
I love hearing from everybody, but Wells just brings this, like, other kind of energy to these episodes. I mean, Wes brings the thoughtfulness, Wes brings the analytics, like, Wes is like me. Like, Wes is, like, very structured, very ordered, like, this is all the things.
I think,
and then Wells comes in like you, he's just like, hey guys, I'm here, fuck you, I'm out. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, he resonates with me very, very well. That's what I feel great. Like there's a connection there. So
God.
we could definitely be a combo. So
you're definitely kindred spirits. Okay,
we are. Yeah.
So last episode, Joe.
Yes.
I found at I71 Sheriff on Twitter, Matt Sheriff, watching that 80s classic and in my head prequel to Hobbs and Shaw, Tango and Cash. Hilarious. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Nothing.
Damn.
Of course. Why would I?
Yeah, amen.
You found Charlize at CharlieZebra15. I want to have a Fast and Furious marathon. Winky face emoji. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. And as we knew from the last episode, she liked the tweet. 1 point.
1 point. There we go. Where am I at?
You have 15. I have 5. Mike has 9. Chris Podcast has 1.
Okay.
Mike Manzi, his last opportunity to get points for a little while. Eugene at Iago Eugene or Lego Eugene. I don't know if it's an I or an L. The Fate of the Furious still does it for me. Can watch it over and over and still won't get tired of it. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Nothing.
Oh, damn.
So Mike finishes the Ridealong Lap. 8 episodes, 9 points. That's not so bad considering this is episode 31.
And you have
I
5.
have 5 points.
Yeah, and a lot of people have 0. Like a whole slew of guests have 0. It's a tough game, man. This ain't no 10-second race.
So why don't you hit me with your...
Okay, so this one I'm really proud of. I forgot we were recording tonight, but I found this morning. It's actually somebody I do follow. He talks a lot. I'm assuming it's a he, just by the name. Talks a lot about. Oh, he manages Penn's blog. So he writes a blog about the Pittsburgh Penguins, or manages it. I read that a lot because they have a lot of like news. I'm a big hockey fan. I'm a big Penguins fan. He goes by Tormund Jeffsbane at G_off817.
Okay.
And I'll give you some context to this. The director of Too Fast, Too Furious died yesterday.
John Singleton, yep.
John Singleton. Ira Madison III, who is a writer for Daybreak on Netflix. He seems to have a podcast, I think. He tweets, "Put some respect on Too Fast, Too Furious."
Yeah.
Which I agree with. But my man Geoff here, Tormund, wrote, "I literally put a ring on this shit," in reply to that tweet. And he goes on, "So the night I proposed to my wretched fiance," interesting choice of words, "I put a ring inside the case of Too Fast, Too Furious," which he doesn't space, which I loved because, we use the no space in Too Fast, Too Forever. "We got back to our hotel after dinner. She hit the bathroom and I put the Pens game on. Phil had just scored. Phil Kessel. She comes out and I look at her and go, 'You want to stay in and watch the rest of this game or watch this?' as I handed her the DVD. These are multiple tweets.
Yeah.
'We don't have a DVD player in here, do we?' she says. 'Sure, it's in the dresser. Get the DVD out.' She opens the case, sees everything inside, the DVD being the most important piece, obviously, and is met with, 'So you want to get married or something?' Anyway, she probably still hasn't said yes or whatever, and I can't find the pic of the ring in the case, but it's on our mantle above our TV, so..." And he has the Too Fast, Too Furious case on his mantle. And I think that that's just such a beautiful thing. Of all of the Fast and the Furious, like, first of all, you choose a Fast and the Furious movie. And of all the choices, you choose Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
And for him to offer it during a Penguins game, which I know how much that means to me. And she was just like, "Why are you asking this question? You don't want to watch the game." Because she knew, like a real woman that you'd want to marry, that the answer was, obviously, I want to watch the game. Yeah. And then this happens. So I would like to reply to him, because boy, do we have a podcast for him. Are you going to help me pick which tweet we reply to, or just like the first one?
I want you to, whatever link you send me, whatever direct tweet link you send me is the one I'm going to reply to. So it's up to you. Whatever one you think is best.
I'm going to go with the last one of the story. Anyway, she probably still hasn't said yes or whatever, and I can't find the pic of the ring in the case, but it's on our TV. It's on the mantle above the TV. And I'm going to send this to you now.
Okay. So while you were reading that, I was looking for my own tweet, and what's actually kind of a cool little coincidence is that one guest that we're going to have on our next lap, who's Kate Hudson, not the Kate Hudson, but she's Kate Hudson. She's a writer. She's an entertainment writer in Los Angeles. That Brian Rodriguez of the High School Slumber Party podcast, who's been on 2 episodes so far of this show, found her, and he had her on an episode of his show of High School Slumber Party. Yeah. I was just looking for people who wrote about John Singleton, and she actually wrote a thing on Pajiba, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Pajiba, I think, an ode to Too Fast, Too Furious, one of John Singleton's finest movies. She wrote that yesterday, so I just retweeted it at Cage Club Pod. But I think it's cool that this woman that we're going to have on our show loved the movies and loves the franchise so much that she wrote about an ode to 2F2F. Not us.
Awesome. So you're trying to get that good likes and stuff in with someone that's gonna be on the episodes?
No, I'm not responding to her. I just retweeted it.
Okay. But go ahead. What's your tweet that you picked then?
Like, I found this tweet. This is not what I'm going to do, because like I was trying to find something like this.
So what are you trying to play? Like do 2 tweets?
No. I'm not going to do this one because I feel like it's not quite respectful to the tweet.
Okay.
This is from Roxanne Roxy at Roxana Haddadi. R.I.P. John Singleton, a man who I think of first and foremost as uncompromising. Every film was undeterred by his vision. Even a franchise film like Too Fast, Too Furious, he tapped into something gritty and dynamic and compassionate. Boys in the Hood to poetic justice to Four Brothers. So I'm just gonna give her a like, but I'm not gonna reply because I feel like that's a nice thing that she did.
Yeah, you're encroaching on their sentiments. Yeah.
Okay, I found one. All right, here we go.
Go ahead.
So there's actually two. So originally I'm going to go. Well, fuck, man, it's tough.
Make up your mind, man.
I'm gonna read you both, and then I'm going to pick the one in my heart, not based on what you say. But so I have Scott Stamper at Durfel McGuffin says John Cena in Fast 9, me likey. And then Reverse Dar 19 John loves Endgame at Reverse DJM says, so first we got Keanu Reeves in Hobbs and Shaw, and now we got Cena in Fast 9, and then it's got Will Ferrell in the grocery store saying, awesome, yes! He's just punching the grocery store. So I'm gonna reply to Reverse DJM. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Yeah, because that's the good one. He knows both newses of the day. So, and
plus, I feel like, and this also might be wrong because I am very clearly not good at this game, but I feel like people who use GIFs or GIFs on Twitter are more likely to be interacting with people.
Maybe.
So we'll see.
Who knows? Good
lap, I think. Good game, I think. So the question now here is, do you want to do the car game now, or do you want to do it?
I say we do it. Go for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do one. It's gonna be my first one without Mike in a while.
It's true. It's very, very true. And it's rare. I mean, there's rare. We never do an episode just you and me anymore. So
yeah, that's why I wanted to do it. Let's get it in there.
Okay, let me just copy this link in here. All right, so I'm going to go back to the email. Go back to Wes's email. So Wes sent in a car picture. If you have a car picture you want us to guess, family@cageclub.me. Okay. With a new Supra, I figured it was about 50-50 whether Joe would either have no idea or would know it immediately. So I'm glad he was able to jump on it right away.
Yep.
Also, a minor correction from last time, Brian's Supra was the orange one he revealed with Dom. His green car was the Eclipse.
Yes.
That he races at the beginning and Johnny Tran blows up.
Makes sense, yeah.
So this is now a car. Wes sends in 3 pictures. It's 3 different cars, or it's the same car, but 3 different actual models. So, Joe, I got lots of colors for you. So, hold on. Let me read these. Let me save these pictures to my computer first. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
It's a 2010 car. I believe it's American. Let me find out, though, for sure. It is... Oh, no, it's a British car.
Okay.
These cars were produced from 52 to 65, and then 84 to present.
Okay.
He says that this manufacturer is English, but has been owned by a different company for an indeterminate period of time that I'm not going to give you because I don't want to give you too many hints.
Okay.
This car was used in one of the movies in the franchise, which I'll give you a hint later if you need it. And one of the car pictures he includes is the actual car that was in the movie. Okay?
I'm going to guess. Can I just make a guess?
Sure.
Mini Cooper.
No. So I'll actually describe the car that is in the movie. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's white and red.
Okay. White and red.
It's sort of a red. Imagine the car as a head of hair. The red is a mohawk. The white is everything else.
So it has a red racing stripe.
But it's more than a racing stripe. It's like the whole hood and the part of the car that is around the windshield, and then the roof, and then the back, from what I can see, is all red. The sides are white. It's it's a rounded, it's a sportier car.
Okay. 2
rounded headlights on both sides.
Okay.
2-door sedan.
Okay.
Grill in the front is rectangular but rounded at the top and rounded and sort of like angled on the sides a little bit.
Is it a Jaguar?
No.
Is it an Aston Martin?
Nope. The back, it's a very smooth, I think all the way around. It feels like there's nothing that's sticking out that shouldn't be there. Like it's a very tapered design, if you will. The trunk in the back, what British people call the boot, if that helps.
Yes.
Doesn't look like there's even a handle. It just looks like you have to pop it from inside the car, I would imagine.
What?
The back, there's 2 exhausts. It's a fancy car. It's a very fancy car.
Jaguar, not an MG, not a Mini. I can't even think of any other British.
There are 2 rear exhausts, both oval on the back.
What British manufacturer am I forgetting? Let me think.
Arguably more expensive than any of those. And you've named some expensive ones.
Yeah, what's a more expensive British manufacturer? Are you sure it's a British manufacturer?
Yep.
You are.
Yep.
That's what's throwing me off, because now I'm trying to
So
think
here's
of...
some more hints. So
Go ahead.
it was driven by Roman in Fate of the Furious. It's the car that he uses to chase Dom in the New York scene, if you remember.
Okay.
It's been owned by Volkswagen since '98.
It's been owned by Volkswagen. Volkswagen owns Audi.
Okay.
And what else?
Alphabetically, you're very close.
I said Aston Martin.
No, not that close.
Alfa Romeo?
Not that close.
B? Something
Yep.
with a B?
Yep.
What was the British car maker name with a B? Bugatti?
Nope.
Bugatti's French. I don't know. Keep going.
It's tough, man. I don't have a lot more to describe. It's a sleek, low-profile car.
I don't remember what he's driving in that scene.
I guess here's another hint. One of the cars he shows me is white and one's silver. So there you go. I really don't know how to describe this car any better because there's not a lot of.
It starts with a B though. What's the manufacturer?
Well, the manufacturer is the B.
Yeah, what is it? I'm like getting to the end here.
Bentley.
Oh fuck me. Oh god.
It's a Bentley Continental.
Yeah. Yeah.
2010
That's
Bentley
it.
Continental.
Bentley. How the fuck did I not get to Bentley?
I don't know,
God
man.
damn it. Yeah, totally
There's the
missed
pictures.
it.
And the top one, the red and white one, that's the one that Roman drives in Fate.
Yeah, he does drive a Bentley. That's right.
So,
Well, that was good. You stumped me.
The car is slick. There's not a lot to. It's not a very describable car, I don't think.
If you would have said it looks like a Chrysler 300, I would have gotten it immediately.
Is that the Cat Williams joke?
Yes.
Do you know
That's
the joke?
1000% the Cat Williams joke. Yep.
Be happy you got a Chrysler 300. Stop walking around talking shit, talking about, nigga, I got it because it looked just like a Phantom. No, nigga. It looked like a Chrysler 300. The fucked up part is it do look like a Phantom until a Phantom pull up. Then you defend that motherfucker. This is bullshit. I don't even want to be on this street, nigga. I don't even want...
But yes, that's exactly what it is. Did you ever see you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. It looks just like a Chrysler 300. They
Yeah.
made them to look like Bentleys. Yeah, exactly. No, that was a good one. I was stumped. I totally forgot Bentley was a fucking English car maker, and I should have gotten it from that. But you heard that I was hung up on Aston Martin and Jaguar and MG and Mini. So
Yeah. So that'll just about do it for this episode. Next week, there's a bonus episode. We've got You Are My Lifespan Chapter 2, the fan fiction. So nothing else in that episode.
If you've been waiting to catch up to You Are My Lifespan, trust me, it's going to get fucking
If you've been
rowdy.
waiting 17 weeks or whatever since the last episode, here comes Chapter 2, down the hatch next week. Nothing else in that episode. Behind the scenes, we're about to record it right now.
Yep.
But, there's no mailbag, there's nothing else.
Just
that.
We give it the attention it deserves.
Ellie Toretto, the fictional sister of Dominic Toretto, apparently in love with both Johnny Tran and eventually
International
Deckard Shaw.
bad boy.
So we will see how that shapes up. But Joe, this is a good lap. I'm still very happy that we're doing this show.
Same.
I'm
not
so
bored
glad
with
that
it.
people email in to family.
It's cool getting emails from new fans.
It's so fun.
I can't believe that people were listening to it. I'm glad you guys like the movies as much as we do. We like them. Hopefully we're doing them justice to you. But, I mean, all the emails we get seem to be pretty positive. Nobody's told us to go fuck ourselves yet, so that's good.
Family@cageclub.me. Leave us a review on iTunes if you want.
Please, if you don't mind.
If you want to join our watch-along for whenever that's going to be, maybe for Tokyo Drift, maybe for Fast and Furious.
Drive-in, obviously. We should go with drive-in, right?
The drive-in, yep.
Yeah.
Email family@cageclub.me, either in your regular email or not, and we will send you the link. We'll also create a Facebook event for that. But yeah, so again, thank you for listening. We'll be back in
Thanks, Mike.
1 week. Thank you, Mike. We'll be back in 1 week for You Are My Lifespan with a special voice that you might have heard a lot this last lap. And we'll be back in 2 weeks for lap 4 of the Fast and the Furious. Any other final thoughts on tonight's episode, Joe, before we close up shop in...
No.
We forgot to say, we're broadcasting live from Han's Garage in Tokyo.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Way to leave it till the end, but we tucked it in there.
Yep.
Live from Han's Garage in Tokyo. Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
How could we forget we took those flights for 16 hours?
I'm glad the seats were a little bit more comfortable than that racing seat that we got. But,
Yeah.
It's fine. Shout out, who's our sponsor? One more time, shout out our sponsor.
Sparco, thank you for providing us with those luxury racing seats that are worth $8,000. Joey and I love them. I put mine in my Nissan Versa.
Mine's just in my living room.
And yeah, I feel faster and more furious when I'm sitting in it.
Super cool. For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, you can go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/cageclub, or at cageclubpod on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Let us know what your rankings are. Let us know your film franchise. Let us know if you want to join us for the drive-in this lap sometime. Just say hi. Let us know that you're listening. It's seriously the coolest thing. Tell us to fuck off. Whatever you want to do. Send us hate mail.
We love it. We really do love it.
Family@cageclub.me.
Yeah, amen.
But no, we do love it. I mean, it's genuinely the best thing, and it makes me so happy. Really, truly. So, lap 4 coming up soon. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we'll see you in 1 week for You Are My Lifespan, and 2 weeks for the Fast and Furious, right here on Too Fast, Too Forever.
We go round.